This video is about the time in the Bible where David caught King Saul pooping in a cave and then decided not to murder him. While there is a helpful life lesson coming up, that does little to offset the disappointing discussion of biblical defecation throughout. Regrettably, there was no way to make this video without using the words poop, dump, king-size deuce, and Shatner, nor without a medieval painting of a king number twoing at the end.
You know what stinks? When people prudishly try to sanitize the Bible to protect me. What are you protecting me from? It's a good book and it's messy and it's human and some weird stuff happens in there. And let's be honest, it has poop in it. And the story that we're going to talk about today is, frankly, the most important poop story in the entire Bible. And if you want to understand the Bible, sometimes you just have to lean into the poop. Metaphorically, very metaphorically. Here's what happened. About 1,000 years before the time of Christ, the main human character of the Old Testament, the Hebrew people, the Israelite people, put their heads together and they decide, we want to start a monarchy. And there were smart people who were like, I don't know, like they're going to tax you and make you fight their battles. But like, no, we want a king. Give us one. Like, all right. So the king they end up with is this guy named Saul. And Saul looks the part. He's a big dude. He's good at fighting, great in battle, but he's way up and down emotionally. And that is not a good characteristic in a monarch. Well, that is accentuated when this kid David comes along and he wins this huge, gigantic, important battle against this big, giant guy named Goliath. And then he goes on to win all these other battles on behalf of Saul, which you would think would make an emotionally healthy person very happy. Thanks for going and fighting battles and killing people on my behalf so I could stay here and eat grapes and be fanned. But no, Saul is jealous and threatened by it. And so one day, David is just sitting there playing his harp all cherubically. And Saul's like, you know what? I'm going to murder you with a spear right now. And so he grabs a spear and he throws it at David to kill him. But David's wiry and quick and he dodges it and he flees out into the desert to get away from Saul. Saul's chasing after him, so David has to find somewhere good to go. I told you, this is the most important poop story in the Bible. And I'm not just going to do some hack job where I roll in here and make stuff up or go with stock footage if we're talking about something that matters that much. So I got on a plane and I went to this place to research it myself. Here's what I found. This spot that David goes to is in the middle of the most inhospitable, miserable, boiling hot part of Israel. It's on the west coast of the Dead Sea, way below sea level. And it's just this cliff face as far as the eye can see in both directions, except for this one little crag that runs up in there. And there are these cold springs that create pools and cascading little waterfalls and meandering cold water streams. And the canyon walls of this place that can sustain life are pockmarked with all kinds of caves of various depths and everything. So you could hide out in there for a long time.
This is exactly where I would go if I was fleeing from someone who tried to murder me with a spear.
Well, Saul, not an idiot, figures out where David is gone. And this place, by the way, is called En-Gedi or En-Gedi. And so Saul rolls down there with a bunch of soldiers. He's like, I'm going to kill David and his buddies who are there with him. He gets there. He's like, oh, wow, that was a long road trip. It is time for a king-size deuce. And so he just picks a cave to go into and drops the trousers and is sitting there. And all of a sudden, well, David and his men who are hiding in the exact same cave figure out that is Saul and he's pooping by us. There are a few reasons that this is a little bit tricky. One, the lighting situation. And you're in a cave, that light's only coming from one direction, which means it is perfectly silhouetting everything that is happening for everyone to observe. Two, the ventilation in caves is just terrible. So everything that's occurring is going to be running right back on top of those guys. And this is just going to be very unfortunate for them smell-wise. Third, it's kind of a conundrum. Do you murder that guy? Because he's trying to murder you. Well, all of David's helpers are like, kill him, dude. This is a gift from God. Not that, but that he's here is a gift from God. And David's like, nope, you guys are out of line. I got a different plan. And so he sneaks. I don't know how he pulled this off. He sneaks up to Saul and he grabs his robe. And I'm using scissors. It wouldn't have been a scissor. And he cuts off a little corner of the robe and he sneaks back into the shadows of the cave. And Saul gets everything done. I don't know how you clean up exactly in the 11th century BC, but he does. I know how he doesn't. He doesn't with that little corner of fabric that David had in his hand. And Saul goes off wandering away. And as soon as he's far enough away, David comes out and he's like, hey, dude, I could have killed you just now, but I didn't because I'm nice. So stop trying to murder me. We should get along. And Saul is like, you have got a point. I am being a jerk and I'm not that good at king. You're so good at stuff. You're totally going to be king someday. You're going to be great at it. Just, I don't know. Just promise that when you are, you'll be nice to my family. And David's like, yeah, I'll be nice to your family. Come on, man. And then it's like, I don't know. They work it out and it seems like stuff's going to get better and it doesn't. Saul changes his mind and comes back after David later. And that's kind of a bummer. But here's the point. One, I just really wanted to tell you about that poop story. And I looked for the poop, by the way. And I don't know, some custodian must have cleaned it up or something. So no checkmate atheist this time. But two, I wanted to think about that thing that David did. Because he had his enemy, not just like, oh, we don't get along so well, but like you're trying to murder me enemy in, I think, what we'd have to consider the most vulnerable position a human can assume. And rather than taking that opportunity to do to him what he was trying to do to you, trust me, that worked in my brain, he instead just passes on that and tries to show some kind of mercy and grace to try to flip an enemy into a friend. And at least momentarily it works. And ultimately, Saul's character, I don't know, not so good, and it ends kind of ugly. But it's not on David. David did something weird. We have enemies now. It's bizarre. I have no idea why the debate, the conversation, the tone of things is so broken, but it is. People will get after you, and no one tribe has the market cornered on being hateful and nasty and vitriolic and demonizing other people. And it's getting to a place where it feels like anything you would do to me, I can do to you back. Like a castle doctrine or something. If you're going to hurt me, I can hurt you first. But David's example is weird. He just does something totally different. And I have to think that that was as counterintuitive and countercultural in the 11th century BC as it is now. So that sticks with me and gives me something to think about. I got a whole bunch of paintings that I'm about to show you of this incident from over the centuries. They are delightful for a variety of reasons. Let's make a deal. If you watch them and you don't laugh, good for you. If you watch them and you do laugh or even smirk, you got to subscribe to this channel because I blatantly want you to subscribe to this channel. All right, let's thumb through these things here real quick. Okay, no, not what happened. False. The opening of the cave is on the wrong side. Again with the napping. Come on, guys. I know this is a kid's book or something, but just let a man poop, pixelate it, or whatever you need to do, but that just doesn't make any sense. Oh, wow, this one tells the whole story. Look, that one's pretty good. This is not from a children's book. There we go. Beaming down a Shatner in all its glory. That is legitimate Bible art that communicates the heart of the story to those who really want to understand it. This person has integrity. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you made a deal about laughing. You're morally obligated now.